They say when a woman has everything, she should feel full. A husband who brings her coffee in bed, a walk-in closet lined with silk and satin, birthday surprises, golden bangles, a ring that cost more than her first car. And yet she woke up each morning with a hollowness that clung to her ribs. Not sadness exactly, just absence. Like walking into a room that used to be yours but no longer remembers your name. Her name is Aanya, 32, married for 5 years, no children, not by choice, but by quiet agreement. Her husband, Dev, is kind, thoughtful in the way one folds a napkin or adjusts a crooked painting. He notices everything, except her sadness. Every night he'd kiss her forehead and whisper, "I love you." And every night she'd smile with the weight of a thank you note. Not because she didn't care, but because she cared just enough not to hurt him. Love, she had learned, could be tender without being true. That night, the rain came like a confession. It tapped on windows, pooled on the edges of balconies, the kind of rain that makes the whole world feel like it's holding its breath. She sat on the edge of the bed while Dev slept beside her, arm draped across her waist like a paperweight, her body still, her mind racing. At 1:17 a.m. she opened her laptop, not to shop, not to scroll, but to write. She visited an old poetry forum she hadn't touched in months, the kind of space where usernames matter more than faces, where people shared their truths in verse because prose felt too naked. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard for a long time. Then she wrote, "I sleep beside a man who whispers love in my ear, yet I dream of silence filled by someone else's voice." She hesitated before hitting post, then closed her eyes and pressed enter. A digital message in a bottle tossed into a sea of strangers. She blinked. "I think your silence has a shape. I'd like to trace it with my voice." She reread the message, once, twice. Who was this? Username Rayan writes, no photo, no bio, just words. She smirked to herself, a little stunned, a little intrigued, then typed back, "Do you always flirt with ghosts?" His reply came faster than she expected, only the ones who leave poems behind. That was the first real sound she made all day. Not a polite chuckle, not a performance, a laugh from somewhere real. Something about him, the way he didn't ask her age or where she lived, felt safe. Not because he knew her, but because he didn't. They spoke for an hour that first night, about nothing and everything, favourite books, coffee orders. At one time she accidentally dyed her hair green in college. He confessed to once crying during a Pixar movie and blamed it on onions. And then, just as she was beginning to forget the hour, he asked, "Do you love him?" She stared at the screen, heartbeat skipping like a scratched record. She could have ignored it, logged off, claimed low battery, but instead she answered, "He's a good man. He brings me tulips in spring." Rayan replied, "But tulips aren't your favourite, are they?" And somehow that question broke something open. Over the next few weeks, midnight became their secret hour. She found herself checking the time obsessively after dinner, waiting for Dev to fall asleep, waiting to become herself again, Aanya and Rayan. Words turned into voice notes into video calls, camera off at first, then not. She learned he was 24, a literature graduate student, a little broke, a little brilliant. He had a chipped front tooth and called her Poet Girl. And she was becoming someone she hadn't met in years. Someone who laughed too hard, who flirted back, who looked in the mirror and didn't just see a wife, but a woman. Still, there were lines. Unspoken, but heavy. She never mentioned Dev by name, and Rayan never pushed. He just kept showing up, night after night, with words that felt like warmth poured into broken spaces. You deserve a voice that doesn't echo, a love that doesn't require shrinking. He said that once, and she wrote it down. But even in love, silence grows. In the spaces where truth waits its turn, in the tension between want and obligation. She never touched Rayan, never met him. But in many ways, he knew her more intimately than anyone else ever had. And that was terrifying. Because love, when it's real, doesn't arrive politely. It kicks the door open, and she was already someone else's wife. Like, subscribe and turn on notification for part 2.